So, Melissa, this question goes to you. When you want to make a compelling pitch as an entrepreneur, what are some of the things that you need to make sure that you are presenting to your financier?
Okay, thank you, Emily. And just to confirm, I saw someone on the chat saying they couldn't hear me clearly. So please feel free to stop me when that happens and I can switch gadgets.
Okay.
So yeah, this is one area we are very passionate about. Earlier in the introduction, I talked about investor or finance readiness. That one of our objectives or key outcomes of what we do is to see that the entrepreneur is ready to meet the financier, that they have the right information, they've packaged it well, as you've said, and usually you find this is contained in a pitch deck. So why is it called a pitch deck? I think some of the background came from just thinking, if you think of a deck of cards, if you have 5 cards, what is contained, in each of those. So a pitch deck, we like to say is, first of all, the entrepreneur needs to know that it's their story that they are telling. They know that story the best way. So the reason we are bringing in the pitch deck is to give structure around which to present your business to the other party who is, a financier, whatever category of financier that would be. And sometimes these financiers would specify the kind of information they need, but usually there are certain elements of a pitch deck that we say at least have those ones in place. If you need to add or remove one or two, it's important to have those ones. So so we start with, and it's more like a flow. It's like you're building a story. It's a step-by-step approach. So first, in trying to understand what you do as a business, what your products are, we say, what problem are you trying to solve? And what solution are you bringing? Because your product or service is addressing something, or ideally is addressing a gap in the market, a gap in the environment, a gap in the industry that you're playing. So even before you come into describing what that product is it clear what gap it's it's trying to face? So like the way you ask, what is the problem? This is the solution, and the solution is this is my product. This is how I describe my product. And something we like to say is in the financial circle sometimes. For example, you could be having a very technical product. Yeah, maybe you're in the science and research. So the question is, can you explain it to a 10-year-old? Would you be able to explain your product to a 10-year-old, what you do? And you can't always assume that everybody listening to what you have understands what you do. Yeah. So a problem, a solution, then you describe your product or your service. It's also important to describe the market opportunity. Yeah. Because even as you go to a financier, they'll want to know, okay, we want to work with you, we want to grow with you. How does this market look? Is it big? Is there potential? And then as you define that, you specify on who your target is. Who is this person that's going to be buying your product, and can they afford it? And this is where we talk about things like market segmentation. Are you selling to the upper market? Are you selling to the bottom of the pyramid? Have you established those parameters? And then who is maybe your existing or potential competition? You could be a new business, a startup, but it's important for you to know who else is doing what you do in this space. Yeah. And then we say the financier wants to know how far you've come. What's your track record? From the time you started business to this time, in terms of financials, how have you grown? Maybe in terms of number of customers, number of products that you're selling. You want to tell the story from maybe the time you started to date. And let me just say that for a pitch deck, each of those items are saying usually would be on one slide. So and the idea is that you just put a very precise information that helps you talk through the slides. Then we have the financial information that your financier is interested to know how you performed historically and how you're looking at going forward, what we call projections. And with the projections, they want to see what's the basis. Like if I say I'm moving from 5 million shillings in 2024 to 10 million shillings in 2025, I need to be able to explain how that will happen. It's not just picking figures from the air, but I need to have a basis. So what we call sound assumptions. And then now there's a big push towards impact. So what impact metrics do you anticipate that your business is going to satisfy? Usually those are aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals. If you know some of them, you can state them. And then we want to know who your team is, the key members of your team, because if you're talking to a financier about growing, they want to know, is this the team that will take the business forward? Because at the end of this deck, you'll ask for some money. So they want to know, is this the team that is well qualified to take this business ahead? Yeah. And then we say risk assessment. Have you thought about the risks that your business is likely to face, and how have you proposed to mitigate on this risk? And then finally, like I said, you have the ask, or what you want these financiers to invest in the business. How much is it? What will it be for? Maybe I want 5 million shillings. 2 million of that is to buy a machine. 1 million maybe is to buy stocks, and the rest of it you just break down and show the investor how you'll use that money. So like I said, it's important for the entrepreneur to know that it's their story. What the pitch deck is doing, it's giving structure to make sure you present key aspects of your business that investors or financiers would really want to know. Yeah. So that's what I would say about the elements of a pitch deck.
I see. That is almost like watching Shark Tank, where you
Yes.
have this amount of ask that you want, and this is the problem that you want to solve. This is how
Yes.
you're going to solve it. This is the strategy. This is the money. And we've seen very interesting ones that have come.